Hey guys, welcome back to Three Terrible Gamers. I'm here with Colin.
Hey guys.
This is episode 42, and we have a crap ton of topics and notes for you guys, so hopefully we get through them all, but I seriously doubt it, but we'll go ahead and get into it. Data miners have found evidence of new amiibos coming to Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, they went in, I'm going to assume they hacked the systems a little bit on their thing just because they found two designs that you can't unlock on any way methodology that the game has. So that only determines that that's going to be amiibo worthy for the files of it. And with the two designs, it's titled Princess Zelda and the Gerudo King fabric on both those things, which I, I get, which obviously I don't do get amiibos, so I'm assuming that some amiibos give you like stuff to change your glider with.
Yeah, yeah,
So obviously, in that corresponding, it's going to be probably a Zelda amiibo and a Ganondorf amiibo on a thing, which would obviously match with the storyline and gives pretty much all three sides of the Triforce for
right,
the thing. The Triforce is technically absent in the last two games since it's not really a major role in the past two. Not
yeah,
really a spoiler. It's just the reality of how the game is right now.
right. Yeah, it's
They're kind of
absent,
straying away from it.
but it uses, I guess, the characters to display the Triforce because they represent the Triforce, I guess. Instead of actually physically representing it, they use, the characters to represent it. But yeah, so I do use the amiibos. I scan them every day possible. You can scan them once a day for those of you that don't know, and they do give you amiibo, well, I guess amiibo themed fabrics for whatever amiibo you scan. So, as actually right now, I have one of the Twilight Princess fabrics on my paraglider. You go to the Hateno Village dye shop, where in the previous game you could only dye your clothes. Here, in this game, Tears of the Kingdom, you can dye your clothes and change your fabric. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, it says the newest of these discoveries are two unused paraglider fabrics found by data miners. Fabrics can be taken to the dye shop in Hateno Village where you can customize your glider with different designs. While some fabrics can be gained by completing side quests, other are locked behind scanning amiibo. The fabrics called Princess Zelda and Gerudo King have been showcased in a compilation video by YouTuber Lootward and can be seen below. And here's the article. It says Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, unreleased glider fabrics. According to fansite Universe Zelda, the two unused fabrics are linked to Amiibo IDs 1049 and 1050. And the current link Amiibo ID is 1048. So 1049 and 1050 verifies that it's going to be part of the same game. But so whenever Nintendo, I guess, announced that the Link amiibo for Tears of the Kingdom, I was wondering why there was only one because there's a ton for Breath of the Wild. There's two Links, a Zelda, a Bokoblin, a Guardian, and four of the champions. Well, the four champions. And so there's quite a bit, and then that's not counting, all the Smash Brothers ones and all the 30th anniversary Zelda ones that are compatible, but that's just the Breath of the Wild ones. So I was expecting them to release at least a couple more amiibo for Tears of the Kingdom. So this might not even be the only two, and there might be more in the future, but these are the ones that data miners have found so far.
Yeah, probably have a few constructs in there, and they might go for a mob one instead of a macabre one this
Yeah,
year,
maybe.
or for this.
Or maybe a
I say
boss
this year a
Bokoblin.
lot whenever.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah,
It's just a habit, I guess. So we usually talk about 2K like that, but
but yeah. So I'm sure. I mean, it's easy money for Nintendo to do stuff like that. I mean, of course, people like Ashton, and eventually what I'm going to do is, once the files come out, just download it onto a little tag thing and then call it good. But yeah, if you want to go out and buy the actual amiibos to have them, then like I said, it's easy money for Nintendo, and they'd be stupid not to do more than just free characters in this game.
Oh yeah, for a Zelda game, definitely need more than one, and they know they'll make that money. I'd love to buy the figures if they weren't so expensive and hard to find, but
Hmm.
I'll just keep doing what I do, so I can do them free.
That's right.
All right, moving on. So we've mentioned this. I think it was late last year in an episode. That Apple had. It's been rumored that they are going to go into the VR space, and Apple did. I believe it was Wednesday announced Apple Vision Pro.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. It was like somewhere in between now and when we first started, so it was like right in the
It
middle
was like November,
stage for
December,
that.
maybe.
Yeah. Uh, but yeah, Apple Vision Pro was announced. It's going to be $3,500 is what it's going to set you back at price tag wise. It's announced early for next year. The competition is obviously a lot cheaper. Like the upcoming $500 MetaQuest free, 550 for the PlayStation VR 2, and 1,000 for the MetaQuest Pro. So yeah, Apple's doing it, but from what I was viewing online with it, it seems like you can do more with the Apple one than what you can with the competitors.
Right,
Like as far as like even down the scrolling through your Facebook feed with the stuff for them, then you can literally talk and it'll pull up to whatever you want. So it's pretty much like you're living in an alternate reality type of situation, it seems like.
right. So yeah, I have the article here. It's a really long one. I probably won't read the whole thing, but it says, yeah, Apple unveiled Apple Vision Pro, a revolutionary spatial computer that seamlessly blends digital content with the physical world, while allowing users to stay present and connected to others. Vision Pro creates an infinite canvas for apps that scales beyond the boundaries of a traditional display and introduces a fully three-dimensional user interface controlled by the most natural and intuitive inputs possible, a user's eyes, hands, and voice. And it'll be running Vision OS, a new operating system for it. So basically, instead of it just being VR for gaming, it's a VR computer. So that's why it's more, is because it's just basically a computer that you control with your hands, eyes, and voice. It's
So it's
it
a MacBook, but yeah.
basically, yeah. So it's really cool. I mean, I seen a video on it. Like somebody was just scrolling through like their apps, like you would on an iPhone, like just scrolling through the homepage. People, you can text from it. See the whole conversation in front of your face. That's pretty cool. Um, and Apple Arcade games are also compatible. In the video, they had NBA 2K 23 on there. You can play it. It's basically your TV just right in front of your face. You can use it with the controller. They use the PS5 controller, but PS4 controllers, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and Nintendo Switch Pro controllers are compatible as well. So it's pretty cool stuff. I mean, definitely. I mean, the price kind of steep, I guess, but for what it is, I mean, it's a lot of technology in this thing, and they said there's 11 cameras in it, so there's a lot packed into this thing.
What your typical MacBook runs anywhere from 800 to 1200,
Yeah, probably.
like the ones I've. So yeah, I mean, you're getting that on top of the VR thing, which it still kind of makes it steep compared to everything else, but it is an Apple product, so they're known
Right.
for it. And I'm sure once they do release and everything else, I'm sure about every single cell phone provider will have it
Oh yeah.
listed that would make a monthly payment on it with your cell phone plan anyway. So
Oh, I'm
I'm sure
sure.
that'll be a thing out.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, I don't know if they'll make it. I mean, I doubt. I mean, there's no way to make it cellular, I guess, like actual cell phone. But I'm sure cell phone companies will have a hand in selling it. Um, I mean, just it's really cool. It's something that we've never seen before because most VR, at least that I know about, is gaming based, and this is computer based with a little bit of gaming on the side. And I guess you could also, maybe, since it's like a spatial computer, you could download maybe Fortnite to it. Epic Game Stores, and play Fortnite or whatever game you want on it. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be.
But we'll just have to wait and see. And whenever it comes out, we'll get the reviews for you guys so you guys know what's going on. All right, moving on. There are, I believe, 4 new Joy-Con colors that have been announced.
Only seen two.
Two.
Uh, the new Joy-Con colors announced new pastel colored Switch Joy-Con controllers will be available for purchase on June 30th. Oh no, it is four. The four colors will come to two official sets. That's what I was
Uh,
thinking was two sets because where there's two, you know,
2 in a pack.
two make a pair.
Right.
Yeah. So there is four colors, but there's only two sets. That's why I was thinking that. First pair will be purple and green, and the second will be pink and yellow. As all other Joy Cons, they're going to be, of course, $80
Yeah.
from the. I mean, you can have it either from Nintendo, or if you want to hop over to our Amazon affiliate link, we will have them listed there as well.
Yep. I'll put them on there. And they, as of any other Joy-Con, they come with the guaranteed. Well, I guess not guaranteed, but it's a very high chance of drift. So, which if
Eventually,
your
we
Joy-Cons
do.
do drift, we do have drift-free sticks in our Amazon affiliate link in our description. So, if you want to pop those out and put those in, that's great. But yeah, the new colors, purple, green, pink, and yellow, they look more Easter themed, spring themed to me than summer themed, but
Pikmin.
yeah, which is, I guess, I mean, I can still kind of get spring theme from from Pikmin, flowers and,
Mhm.
but anyway,
That's what I was going to because if it was like if the purple would have been matched with any other color, I would assume it would have been like a Waluigi type of situation. But well, I mean, I guess purple and green since technically Waluigi and Luigi combined. But
that makes
I know
sense.
Pikmin 4 is coming out along with everybody else that listens to this podcast, so
Right.
it just seems like you said, flowers, and that's what pretty much the whole entire
Spring.
Pikmin game is. Yeah, related.
Now the green is like a really light green, so it reminds me of the color of the Animal Crossing theme Switch, that Joy-Con color. I guess it's not exactly because it's a new color, but it's really similar, like a light green. But yeah, so 2 new sets, 4 new colors. You can buy them individually on Nintendo's website. So if you want to mix them up, you can. You don't have to buy the sets, but they do come in a set. But like Colin said, they
Yeah,
will be in this episodes and going forward, the Amazon affiliate in the description. So
cost you the same amount.
yep, costs the same amount, helps us out, helps us keep putting content out for you. All right. There are 4 new games coming to Nintendo Switch Online. I believe they're already out.
Yeah, I believe they came out on the first,
Yep.
but for whatever reason, Nintendo decided to release the information late. But if you play it every single day, then you would already know this.
Right.
But Blaster Master, Enemy Below for the Game Boy Color, Harvest Moon for the Super Nintendo, Kirby Tilt and Tumble for the Game Boy Color, and Mystery Tower on the NES. And I've never heard of a single one of these titles.
Really?
Apparently, Harvest Moon was a good game on the Super Nintendo, like a well liked game back in the day.
You've never heard
But
of Harvest
like,
Moon?
no, I hadn't.
Harvest Moon was also released on the GameCube, and it was a very high, like, popular game then too. I never played it, but Summer had it, and it was like, and you look it up, like it's a very high praised game on the GameCube as well as the NES.
I heard it extremely praised, but like I said, I'd never heard of it.
Yeah. Um, Kirby Tilt and Tumble, people like that game as well, but the other ones, Blaster Master, Enemy Blow, I haven't heard of that, and Mystery Tower on the NES, I haven't heard of that either. But Harvest Moon I have, and Kirby Tilt and Tumble, and so yeah, there's 4 new games, and that's it for that. Moving on. So this is a topic that I'm kind of excited about. Madden 24 has been revealed. I haven't been excited about a Madden game for a very long time, but this one's bringing back some old things.
I didn't really see the old things on there. It
Oh,
mainly focused on the uh thing, so I'm eager to hear what you say about it.
okay.
But it that it's on August 8th. It's released. It's going to happen on August 18th, which is right in line from the time they usually release every year. Uh, the Rise of the Batting Curse, I want to predict is going to come back because they're going back to just one cover athlete.
Yeah.
So Josh Allen will have a terrible season this year, whether it be through injury or just because he was a cover athlete.
The Madden
Uh,
curse.
yeah. As of right now, there's free versions. There's the standard edition, the deluxe edition, and the EA Play Pro edition. It's only available via an EA Play Pro subscription and the EA app. So, three different things. The standard edition don't get you anything. I think the deluxe gets you some ultimate team points and I think one other thing, but I couldn't see what the EA Play Pro thing does.
Probably nothing, honestly. No an EA.
Make you pay for more stuff, the microtransaction.
Right. Yeah. So as Colin said, Josh Allen is this year's cover athlete, making him the first ever Buffalo Bills player to feature on the cover of a Madden game. Allen has developed into one of the NFL's best quarterbacks and has last year's front runner to win MVP until injuries eventually slowed him down. But as for the game, one of the Madden community's top requests in recent years has been return of minigames, a popular feature introduced during the PS2 era. I don't know if you remember minigames or not, but I did play a lot of the minigames on, the GameCube and PS2 era games like '07, '08. But it says the return of mini games coincides with the introduction of training camp and franchise mode, allowing players to earn XP by completing numerous challenges. Superstar mode is back. It's not as big of a change as you might expect, as it's effectively a rebranded version of Face of the franchise, but the game will be available, as Colin said, on August 18th for the Xbox Series X/S, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. And I may be wrong, but I believe this is the first time a Madden game has been available on PC. But it will be available on the EA app for Windows, Steam, and Epic Game Store.
Yeah. So the mini games, that's whenever they had like the dummies and stuff you could practice against or practice against other teams and run different plays like via the mini game setting.
Right. I mean, it's not a big
Okay.
thing, but it's still, a little nostalgia there, I guess. I mean, I still probably won't buy the game. I haven't bought a Madden in forever.
Yeah. I might consider it again whenever they bring back the fantasy challenge.
Yeah, it's a good mode. I like that mode.
Oh yeah. Especially whenever you had four unlockable teams that didn't even exist. I mean, technically exist in the NFL because first you played against. Well, you played for the whole entire league first, then you played the AFC and NFC Hall of Fame team, and then played for the dummies. What the Glaciers, the Tridents, and the Deceivers. Yeah.
Yeah,
Spoiler alert if you haven't played this 15-year-old game yet.
yeah. What was that, Madden '08?
Oh wait, yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I played '08 a lot, but '07 was my favorite.
yeah. Oh seven. Now I had that one on GameCube.
I have that one on GameCube too. '08 I had on PS2. Yep. So August 18th is when Madden 24 will be out. Josh Allen will be on the cover. Moving on, Metroid Prime 4 site opens in the UK.
Yeah. It's been over half a decade since we had any true Metroid Prime 4 news, or since it was, I guess, technically initially revealed. I'm not gonna say news because
Not
we've had
much
news with it. I
news.
just yeah, not much news, but pretty much there. I mean, we had the little teaser on what the one of the Nintendo Switch directs, but it wound up being for the Prime remaster.
Right.
But the highly anticipated sequel has since gone through numerous development changes, including a studio switch, though there were no signs of it arriving anytime soon. However, the game has now appeared on the Nintendo UK site, suggesting that an update or new reveal might be closer than we had originally anticipated, which is good for all the Prime fans out there.
Yeah. I'm one of them. I like Prime. I bought remaster and you know, I'm pretty excited about it. Like you said, it's been over half a decade, which seems crazy because we haven't heard anything. A lot of people thought it was just scrapped, but yeah, they brought back Retro Studios is the last thing that we heard from it. They scrapped, everything that Nintendo had began progress wise and brought Retro Studios to start it over from the ground up. So, but I guess it's a sign that they're working in the right direction. I guess that since a site came up, it was just a site to sign up with your email address to receive any potential news about Metro Prime 4, so maybe any updates. But so maybe we could get a new trailer or a reveal sooner or later. I believe that Nintendo will have a surprise direct this month to show off Prime 4. And if it's not this month, I don't believe it'll be next month or August, but September. So I'm saying June or September, they'll have a surprise direct saying that Metro Prime 4 will release by holiday this year.
I figured they would do it with the thing they're doing in Seattle.
Maybe, but I don't know. They might, which that's in September, right?
Yeah, it's in September, so that would go well with your time frame if that is the case. If they don't do it this time,
Yeah. Because it used to be almost every single year Nintendo would have a direct, which they were in E3 for several years, but after E3 basically died, when COVID hit, they were doing directs every year, every June. But last year they skipped June and it went in September with a direct. So that's why I'm saying June or September. And I think Prime 4 will be in their next direct, whether it's an actual direct or whether they announce it at Nintendo Live, whenever. But I believe they'll say it'll be releasing probably in November. That way it's a good time before holiday 2023.
yeah. So do you think the game's already made from how many boxes they've had, or do you think it's just going to be announced but they're in the making of it by then?
I think it'll be done. I think it's already done. I mean, they've had several years to work on it. So I think it's already
I heard
done. They're just waiting on it and, they're just going to announce it, have a big blow up about it. And then, I mean, I think they're giving it the treatment that Tears of the Kingdom got. I mean, obviously, Metroid Prime 4 has got way longer of a treatment than Tears of the Kingdom, you know, between news. But I think they're just, I think they're just letting people think that it's dead, that it's not going to happen, and then they're just going to blow it up and be like, oh yeah, this releases here in a couple months. You can pick it up.
well that, and I mean, people's always been a fan of the Zelda series, and then which people has always liked Metroid,
Just
but
hasn't sold as
it's
well as Zelda,
yeah, it hasn't been told as well. So to them, the community isn't as big until now when everyone's wanting it because they're holding back on it so much.
Right.
Which is exactly what you said, the Tears of the Kingdom situation, because they drove the anticipation way up. So therefore, that's what they're going to do with Prime too, because it got themselves on there. So it's easily going to get themselves on the next time they do it at round two.
Right. And like you said, I mean, it's Metroid never been a huge franchise for Nintendo. I mean, more than higher and bigger than average, but not a huge like a Mario or a Zelda. But since what 2021 when Dread released, Metroid's blown up
Hmm.
worldwide. So that's why, they went ahead and released the Metroid Prime Remaster and it blew up. It sold really well, smashed records. It seems like every game that Nintendo's releasing is smashing records, like in some way or another. Um, and I believe they released Metroid Prime Remaster just to tie us over a little bit longer until Prime 4 gets announced and releases. And I believe it will be in time for holiday 2023. If not, then definitely quarter one 2024.
Okay. Fashion guarantee.
Mm, yeah, yeah, I'll guarantee it. I'll guarantee it.
Okay.
And if
I'll
not,
keep my
then
speculation
definitely within the next 10 years. I'll guarantee that.
within the next 10 years.
Yeah, that's a guarantee.
I say we'll probably see more remasters by then.
Yeah. So what do you think? You think it'll be announced this year or released this year? Or you think they're going to hold it off for a couple more years? Or
I don't know, just because I mean, obviously they've been working on the game, and I know even though you switch developers, that don't mean the game went anywhere from what they done. It's not like they scrapped the whole entire thing. It's like how we was mentioned last week with like the speedrunning community. It's basically the same ordeal with developers when they change hands. They already have this layout, so they're going to focus on what they're going to do better than what the last developer was doing.
right.
So Nintendo pretty much, I would assume, has a story laid out. It's just what the developers have to do to make that story come into play for, and then how the characters are going to play out.
Yeah. Yeah, they just got to build it around that story, however it's laid out.
But Nintendo being Nintendo, they're going to make sure everything's perfect before it releases.
Right. And I mean, as long as it could have, like we talked about Tears of the Kingdom, it's been done for over a year and they released it. They delayed it for a year just to polish it. So, I mean, this game has been, we haven't heard anything in such a long time, several years. So it could have been done for a year or two and they've just been polishing it since then. We don't know.
Mm-hmm. Because it's not as I'm not going to say as high anticipated, because obviously it's not as anticipated as a Zelda title,
Right.
but it's still anticipated to the Metroid community.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'd love to see it released and play it, but like I said, I mean, I'm not excited for it as I was Tears of the Kingdom. Of course not, but it's still a franchise I enjoy playing.
Oh yeah, I find myself playing the NES and SNES ones, but I still just can't fathom myself breaking out the GameCube and reliving being scarred as a kid.
It's not so bad. It's not so bad. I faced my fears of Luigi's Mansion. You can face your fears of Metroid Prime.
Yeah, Williams Mansion is an E game. This one was a T, which I know I'm way past the teenage state now, but still.
Yeah, you're old now. All right.
Oh,
I'm gonna hit the last one. Go ahead and hit it. So,
like, ow.
huh?
Ashton said we're gonna make this podcast an hour.
That's right. Yeah, hopefully it won't be that long, but we'll see. As I've predicted, the Legend of Zelda movie has been reported.
Tom Holland's the main star.
No, he's not. I wouldn't watch it. I probably would, but
From what I researched, they're getting close to official. Universal is in fact closing a quote big deal with the Nintendo Corporation of Legend of Zelda, which Universal owns Illumination.
hmm
So i.e., the Mario movie. That
Hmm.
was a success. So that's going
Huge
on. So Zelda
success.
will be looking like the next big Illumination Nintendo franchise, which again we were all kind of expecting because of the Mario movie success. And what's happening is it's costing Universal a pretty penny because of the success of the Mario movie. Like Nintendo kind of knows its worth at this point.
Yeah.
So Nintendo's wanting more money from Universal for the thing since Mario was such a huge success. Uh, but the whole entire plot of the movie and everything else is still up for the thing, and it's all up to IPs as publishing the Super Mario. Well, I guess not technically publishing at this point. It's at the recording of this is the Mario Brothers movie has grossed 1.3 billion, making it one of the most successful animated movies of all time.
Yep.
So you take Zelda, it's going to be pretty much obviously Zelda based, but the same premise of the Mario movie type of situation, I would assume, because I would have a feeling they would play it kind of as I don't even know how they would necessarily do the story with it because Mario's never covered how Mario became Mario until this movie. While The Legend of Zelda has technically covered itself quite a few times
Several
on how the
times,
storyline.
different links, so
Because even with Skyward Sword, yeah, Skyward Sword being the first in the timeline, and then you got Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom pretty much making their own timeline. We're so far in the future of the timeline that everything's just tied back into each other. So you got all those areas where they could potentially hit with a movie.
right. So I'm going to read my article and then I'll tell you what I think they're going to do for the movie. All right, so it says reports have emerged suggesting that Universal and Illumination are currently engaged in negotiations to bring The Legend of Zelda to the big screen. Building on the massive success of the Super Mario Bros. Movie, the studios are actively collaborating with Nintendo to kickstart the development of a feature film centered around the video game franchise. These rumors gained traction after being discussed on a recent episode of The Hot Mic. It is believed that if the deal goes through, this project would mark a major milestone for Illumination, positioning it as a significant player in the realm of video game adaptations. In 2015, as we've talked about before on this podcast, rumors had circulated about a live action television series based on The Legend of Zelda, which was reportedly in the works of Netflix. And that was the one I believe Tom Holland was in, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they scrapped it because he sucks. But that's not why, but that's what I say. No, they scrapped it because of leaks. Netflix leaked it to the public, so Nintendo's like, okay, we're just going to cancel it. So that's what happened there. And it says also Nintendo was also making a Star Fox movie project as well with Netflix, and they scrapped it because of the leaks as well. So I have predicted Star Fox as well and Metroid. They're all going to come to the big screen because of the success of Mario, but Zelda is next if that still goes through. But anyway, how I think they will do the movie, they definitely they could do several different games or just kind of go off of the TV series a little bit, not even just do a game, just do an adventure that way, like the TV series did back in the 80s. But I think they'll go back to, say, old reliable and base it off of Ocarina of Time story wise, like similar to Ocarina of Time.
Okay, that way you can branch off whichever direction they need to go in.
Right. If they need a sequel, they could always branch off to wherever they need to go. And the story, it'll just fall into place like Ocarina of Time. Maybe not. I mean, Ocarina of Time, obviously, you got to travel back and forth in time, but maybe not travel back and forth so much. But the, just say instead of traveling in time, it'll be more of a flashback scene instead of
Yeah,
actually going back in time, maybe.
which I mean, minor spoilers. I mean, they could technically do that with Tears of the Kingdom too.
They could, but Tears of the Kingdom's just so big and so vast. Like you can't narrow it down as much as you can Ocarina of Time, in my opinion. So that's why I said Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, but as far as like talking about sequels and stuff, they would be easy. I mean, it would be just as easy to do sequels off, like I said, Tears of the Kingdom, than what it would be to Ocarina of Time, or pretty equal in that matter
Yeah,
of
I'm
how
saying,
they wanted to bring.
but the story though of Ocarina of Time is one of the best in
Oh yeah,
a
it is.
lot of people's opinions. I mean, it's maybe not the best in my opinion, but a lot of people. So I think they'd go, like I said, old reliable. That way, they know people will
Oh,
be engaged with it.
from if you ask anyone, especially who played the older Zelda titles, they would even beat it out the current Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdoms easily
Right?
in people's opinions.
Yeah. I mean, definitely Zelda. The past two, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, are more gameplay based and story driven. Tears of the Kingdom a lot more story driven than Breath of the Wild, but still not as much as the older Zelda games.
Yeah,
So that's why I said they go more story driven. So something like Ocarina of Time, or like I said, they made just something completely original like the TV series did, and just do a story that way. I don't know, or maybe they do Skyward Sword, the very first Zelda, and do it that way. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. Like we said, it's
yeah,
Nintendo. We don't know what they're going to do. They're so unpredictable. You don't know. You can just try to predict, but nobody hardly can.
yeah. No, it's a hard thing to predict for sure. I mean, shoot, I don't think anyone expected the Mario movie to go the way it did initially before they started showing trailers.
I didn't think they would show Mar. I don't want to say it mean, but like Mario being weak, like he's not. It's just he's not trained. But I didn't think they would show him being weak, the weak one, and the princess being the strong one at first. I mean, you know how the story goes. You know, in the end, he's whatever he saves it, whatever. But it was different. I never expected them to do that. So,
Yeah.
but that's all the time we have. So we appreciate you guys for watching or listening. So, like as always, guys, follow us on Instagram, Twitch, YouTube. You can watch us live on Twitch and YouTube, and or Instagram, TikTok, merch. I think I already said it, but anyway, do you have anything else?
I think you hit about everything.
All right. Thanks for watching or listening. We'll catch you next week.
Later, guys.